Good morning, Facebook land. Welcome to this beautiful Monday morning in the brand new year. It's 2021. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Man, I'm excited today. We're going to dive into a new devotion today. And I feel like it's totally in line with what we're all doing and dealing with today in our world, in our country. Doesn't really matter what side of the political aisle you're on or what you believe. I think we can all agree that there is just a ton of uncertainty in this world right now. From everything stemming from loss of job, loss of income, loss of family members, the fact that we're dealing with a global pandemic, and for us here in the United States, this election has just been crazy. Good morning, Raylan. Good to have you with us. Good morning, Don and Jenny. Good having you with me. Happy New Year, everybody. Man, it's still kind of I'm still getting used to this whole idea that we're in 2021. It's crazy. I was thinking about a time when I was like in middle school, and like our teacher was asking us like, where do you see yourself in like 10 years or 20 years? And here I am getting close to the 20-year mark, and it's just like it's just incredible how God just leads us on a trail of that a lot of us just couldn't even picture. Like, I could not picture my life being what it is today when I was 14 years old. It's just crazy. Not necessarily a bad thing though. I mean, it's great. But yeah. So we're going to dive into a 4-week devotional titled Dealing with Uncertainty. I came across this last night as I was realizing, it's Monday tomorrow, and we are starting up our daily devotions again. So I started going through some different devotion plans that I'd seen and like had bookmarked for things that I could do later on, and this one came up along with a couple other ones. But I felt like just with the current climate that we're all facing, I thought this could be a good one for us to do. So we're just going to dive right in. So, dealing with uncertainty. Our author picks up here. Be strong and courageous, for you are the one who will lead these people to possess all the land I swore to their ancestors that I would give them. And that comes from Joshua chapter 1, verse 6, which we'll read more on later. But think of Joshua as he prepared to lead the Israelites into Canaan, a place that was overrun by their enemies. Although God had promised them this land, the journey to obtain the promise was long and hard and filled with uncertainty. Perhaps that's why God reminds Joshua, just as I was with Moses, so I will be with you. I will not leave nor forsake you. Be strong and courageous. God knew Joshua's secret concern, and so he spoke to the fear in Joshua's heart. I find it interesting too, like when I think about this passage, it's easy to think of Moses as like this great conquering hero, and he had it all together. But really, it's like, it's interesting to think like who Moses actually was. And the crazy thing about all that was that God, it wasn't necessarily Moses doing all these great things, but it was God doing these great things through Moses, who was just obedient to the call that God had put on his life. I mean, here you have this guy, just some guy, right? He goes into Egypt, who at the time, Egypt was like, it was like the biggest world power there was. And stands up to the Pharaoh, the king of Egypt. And I imagine like part of Moses was like, this is crazy. Why am I doing this? Like, who am I to do this? And then to be reminded that God is saying to Moses, like, be strong and courageous and know that I'm with you. And here that same God is telling Joshua, just as I was with Moses, in God's words, just as I was with Moses, so I will be with you. I will not leave you nor forsake you. Be strong and courageous. The same God that was with Moses, that led the Jewish people out of Egypt and is leading them into the promised land, is the same God that is standing beside Joshua. Let's keep reading. The same God who encouraged Joshua also wants to encourage you. He understands how easily fear and anxiety can paralyze anyone forced out of their comfort zones and into circumstances beyond their control. Thankfully, no matter how uncertain you may feel, the outcome of every situation is known to God. And God promises to never leave or forsake those who draw near to him. His children are never alone. You are not alone. And your future is held in his hands. So how do we deal with uncertainty? I think a lot like Joshua and Moses, we acknowledge our limitations, but we lay down our expectations and pick up God's declarations. So over the next 4 weeks, we're going to take a closer look at these steps and discover how we might incorporate them into our daily lives. It's easy to be distracted and to get discouraged when you look at your limitations. You know, one of the things being in youth ministry that I hear a lot from adults is, I'm just too old to do this. I can't keep up with those kids. I mean, I've even sometimes had those thoughts creep into my head too. I'm too old for this. I won't be able to relate to these kids because I come from a different generation. And all I hear from God is this promise and this declaration just to be strong and courageous and know that he is with me every step of the way. And that I can lean into that and I can trust that. So wherever you're at today, whatever you're dealing with, whatever uncertainty that's running through your mind this morning, with whatever it comes with, I pray the scripture over you. I pray that you would just be strong and courageous and know that the Lord your God is with you every step of the way. The same God that was with Moses and with Joshua that led the Israelites out of Egypt, I pray that you would just know that that same God is with you right now. Let's pray. God, I know that you can work all things together for good. But right now, God, we might feel overwhelmed by what's going on around us. I know there's times where I feel overwhelmed with what's going on around me. This future feels so uncertain, and sometimes I just want to panic. So God, I just ask that you would help me, help us, remind me, and remind us of your promises for us. God, fill us with the courage and give us strength for today and hope for tomorrow. Just give us the courage, God. Amen. Well, that's going to conclude our first day on this devotion for the next 4 weeks. We're going to be diving into this every Monday, dealing with uncertainty. And let's see here. I'm going to just read this full chapter here for you. It's going to come up. So today's passage was based out of Joshua chapter 1. I'm going to read verses 5 through 9, which I read in the ESV. And it reads, "No man shall be able to stand before you all the days of your life. Just as I was with Moses, so I will be with you. I will not leave you nor forsake you. Be strong and courageous. For you shall cause this people to inherit the land that I swore to their fathers to give them. Only be strong and courageous, being careful to do according to all the law that Moses my servant commanded you. Do not turn from it to the right hand or to the left, that you may have good success wherever you go. This book of law shall not depart from your mouth,
but you shall meditate on it day and night, so that you may be careful to do according to all that is written in it. For then you will make your way prosperous, and then you will have good success. Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be frightened, and do not be dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. They say when they repeat themselves in the Bible, it just means that point is it's more important, it's set apart. And I think it's curious that the Lord our God chooses to emphasize to be strong and courageous. I think that goes to show us that we're gonna face many trials in our lives. And sometimes the biggest trials in our lives are the ones that we create in our own heads, where we're not good enough. The task seems impossible. And I think God is just reminding us just to be rooted in who He is. To be rooted in the promises that He's given us through His Word, through His Son, Jesus. It all points to Jesus Christ on the cross, does it not? So whatever you're facing today, I encourage you, just read through Joshua 1, verse 5 through 9, and be reminded that the same God that was with Moses and that was with Joshua is the same God that's with you today, with whatever you're facing. Amen. I'm so glad that you joined me today, this morning, on a beautiful Monday morning in the brand new year, our first devotion of the new year. So glad to have you with us today. Pastor Shauna is going to be back tomorrow morning. He'll be here Tuesday through Friday. I'll be here every Monday. I'm excited. I think this is going to be a fun year. I'm excited to see what the Lord has for us this year. I'm looking to try a few different things out. One thing that I had on my mind, though, as I was meditating on this last week of, the direction that we want it to go, that I'd like to see maybe our Mondays go, was thinking of man, there's so many topics out there that we could cover. I know we've covered things from worship to uncertainty, stress, anxiety, all these things that we've talked about, and I would love to know, what are some things that are on your heart that you want to talk about, that you want to learn more about, that you think as a community, these are things that would really benefit us as a body. If you have a suggestion of, maybe a study or something that you've been hearing God speak to your heart, feel free to throw that down in the comment section. You can send me an email. You can send the church an email. I would love to have a conversation. I'd love to make this more of a dialogue where we could just be doing this every Monday morning for about 15 minutes, just going through different subjects, different studies. I love coming up with our stuff that we're doing. I know I got a lot of things cooking, just with preparing messages for a youth group, and just all these books that I'm reading right now to help me develop our ministry there. And I love being able to share some of that with you. But I'm also thinking there's got to be some other things too that I might be missing. And so I want to open this up to if there's something that you feel like you need, or there's something that you want to share or maybe bring to the light, so that way we can have a discussion on it. I would love to hear your input and your suggestions. So feel free. You can send the Facebook page a message here. You can send me an email. You can call the church, email the church, however you see fit. But I would love to have you guys be more part of what we're doing here on Mondays. And the other big thing of it too is opening up this time for prayer. I know when we first started this whole thing back in March, when the pandemic was just starting, prayer was such a huge part of what we were doing. Excuse me. And I think it's still important that we keep pressing into prayer, because there's power in that. There is power in prayer. And I want you to know, if you're tuning in for the first time and you just feel like there's this ton of weight on you, there's a ton of weight from the world just pressing down on you, and there's things that you need prayer for, we're the community that will pray with you. And if you feel comfortable and you feel comfortable enough to share it, you can immediately just go right down to our comment section. Type in your prayer request. We're going to see that as a staff, and our community will see that and we'll pray with you. If you're not quite comfortable enough to share those things publicly, you can always send us a direct message to our Facebook page. You can email us at the church. You could call the church. But just know we as a community, we as a staff, we love you guys, and we want to pray with you, and we want to be there for you guys, just to keep pointing you right back to Jesus, who, after all, is the guy that holds everything all together. And so we love you guys. We're excited for what this new year is going to bring. There's so much, like I said, there's so much uncertainty that we're all facing. And the thing, even though we're facing all this uncertainty, we can rest assured knowing that our God is the one that holds it all together. He is the one that is leading us through this. He's the same God that led the Israelites out of Egypt, and he's the same God that's going to lead us through this season that we're all in right now. So with that, just want to say I love you guys. I'm so glad that you're with me this morning. If you enjoyed what you heard today, and if you're enjoying this community, feel free to hit the like button, the share button, share this message with those on your friends list. Help us get the word out. This week also, I know we're going to be putting out a midweek connection video, but I figured I'll take the time right now just to invite you guys. So this coming Sunday, we're back to our normal weekend schedule of 2 services. We got 2 services, 8:15, 10:45 with Sunday school at 9:30. We would love to see you get plugged in there. And then confirmation Wednesday, 4 to 6. I think Awana's is kicking off again too. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure. And we also, the biggest one, and I should know this because I'm the youth director. We have our first big event of the new year. So if you're a parent of a middle school 6th grade through 12th grade student, or if you're a 6th grade through 12th grade student that lives in the Jamestown area, or if you're just passing through and you want a place to hang out on Friday, come hang out with us Friday. We're going to be kicking off the new year with our first late night live, working on getting the flyer out. I should have that out today. So keep an eye out for that. And when you see it, just hit the like button and share that with everybody you can. We would love to get as many kids as we can there. I'm so excited. We have tons of games. We're going to have some snacks, some prizes, awesome prizes to win. And I'm really excited about this. We're going to have a really awesome special guest speaker who's going to be speaking on a very awesome topic. So I'm going to kind of keep that under wraps right now because I just want to keep it a surprise. But it's great. I'm excited. And just keep an eye out for more details on that. Otherwise, be blessed, church. So glad to have you with us. Join Pastor Sean tomorrow as he kicks off his daily devotions Tuesday through Friday. And we will see you guys here at Victory. God bless you guys. Take care.